Hey guys, System Shogun here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at Azure Managed Identity and see how easy it is to not hard-code credentials in your code, because that is extremely dangerous practice that many developers are doing still 2024. So let's get started and see Azure Managed Identity in action. I hope you're excited. Let's get going. Alright, first things first, we need a place to put all our resources. In Azure, this is called a resource group. Think of it as the drawer where you keep all your stuff organized, because you know we're organized people, right? So let's go to resource groups and create a new one. Let's call our group MI demo, as in Managed Identity Demo. Let's use West Europe as our region and let's create it. Okay, let's go to our resource group. Here it is, it's empty because we've just created it. Next up, Azure Key Vault. If you've never heard of it, imagine it like the Fort Knox of your application secrets. Let's create a key vault. Click on create. We'll use the resource group we've just created. Let's name it Key Vault Demo and add some digits for randomness because the name needs to be unique across Azure. Something to keep in mind. Let's use West Europe again and let's go to access configuration. You need to make sure that this here is selected. Under permission model, make sure that Azure role-based access control is selected because it's important for this demo. Let's now click review and create and click on create. Okay, now our key vault has been created. Let's go and check it out. Okay. Now, one thing to note is if we go to secrets, you see this orange notification here. So right now I'm not able to add any secrets or read any secrets because I'm not authorized. To fix that, go to access control here, click on add role assignment, type Key Vault and make sure you select Key Vault Administrator here, then go to members, select members, and here select your own user account. Click on review and assign, and that's done. So let's create a secret. We'll call it my secret. With the value comes from Key Vault. Yay! Because we're excited about it, right? Okay, let's click on create. And boom, secret stored. Now let's switch to Visual Studio. And we are back in Visual Studio. We've got an API that I already set up. It's a minimal API. I would need is the Key Vault name and the secret name to work its magic. So what's happening here is simple. We're connecting to the Key Vault, grabbing the secret and returning it through our API. Of course, we need to add Key Vault name and secret name here. And first, we'll deploy this app using default Azure credentials and see that it will not work. So let's add the Key Vault name and the secret name. So here's our Key Vault name. Let's put it here. And the secret we already know. It's my secret. Let's deploy this as is. We'll use a Linux app service. We'll create a new one. Let's use our resource group here, and we'll use the default hosting plan. Okay. Now, let's publish this. It is deployed, finally. Alright, before we hook up Managed Identity, let's see what happens if we try to access our Key Vault without it. And spoiler alert, it's not gonna work, but it's important to see why it fails. Let's go to Postman. And let's copy our URL here. And hit the Key Vault endpoint. And we get, drum roll please, might take a while. Yup, 500 error. If we take a peek at the exception, it's something like an error occurred while retrieving the secret. Not very helpful, right? But here is the deal. Our app is trying to connect to Key Vault, but it doesn't have permission. Why? Because we haven't given it any credentials or identity to prove that it has the right to access the Key Vault. In other words, it's like trying to walk into a VIP club without a pass. Security is not letting you in. This is exactly why we need Managed Identity. It gives our app the proper access securely without us needing to hardcode credentials or keys into our code. Let's fix that and show you how it works with Managed Identity next. So back at Azure Portal, in our resource group, let's go on Create and look for Managed Identity. So first of all, what is Azure Managed Identity and why do you need it? Think of Managed Identity like a backstage pass for your app in Azure. It allows your app to access other Azure services securely, like Key Vault, without needing to store passwords or keys in your code. Nice, right? So there are two types of Managed Identity. System assigned, where Azure creates and manages the identity for you, and user assigned, just like the one we're about to create, where you create and manage yourself. So you're the boss. So let's click on Create. We'll use our resource group here. Let's use West Europe. And let's name this Managed Identity Demo. Okay, this is okay. And click on Review Create. And click on Create. Here's our Managed Identity resource. So once that's done, we need to give this Managed Identity access to our Key Vault. And to do that, let's go to Azure Row Assignments, add row assignment, choose scope, which is Key Vault. Here's our Key Vault. And let's add a role. So let's type Key Vault. And you might be tempted to use Key Vault Administrator, but don't do that. So we're sticking to the principle of least privilege. It's a fancy way of saying, let's not give this identity more power than it needs. So we will only assign it the Key Vault secrets user. That's all we need to grab secrets, nothing more. Let's click on Save. And now let's check our Key Vault. And see if we've got our Managed Identity added. Let's go to Access Control, Row Assignments. And here it is. our Key Vault Secrets user managed identity is added. Okay, there's one more thing left. We need to add this managed identity to our app service. To do that, let's go to our app service and under settings, go to identity and then click on user assigned and add the new managed identity we just created. Click on add and that's done. Okay, so now what's left is to change our code a little bit and redeploy it. Let's go back to Visual Studio, Program CS, and now I'll uncomment the following code and I'll use the credentials here. But I also need to get the client ID of our managed identity. So let's go to our managed identity and click on client ID to copy it. Let's go back to Visual Studio and just paste that here. And now let's redeploy this. And I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll be back. Okay, so our application is deployed. And let's try hitting the same endpoint again. And there you have it. Voila! The API grabs the secret from Key Vault without using any credentials in your code. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you learned something today. If you liked the video, make sure to like, subscribe and share it with others. Until next time, keep being this awesome. System Shogun out.